That's the Sutton Elementary Carolers. They came to serenade us for the holiday season, and we really enjoyed and appreciated it. Happy New Year, and welcome to this month's Flying Razorback Report. I'm Senior Airman Cody Martin. In this edition, volunteers were recognized, 7 Habits with Major Jim Garvey, Green Dot, and much more. First, Senior Airman Matthew Matlock visits volunteers at the Fort Smith National Cemetery while they honor fallen vets for the holiday season.
Members of the 188th took part in Christmas Honors, an event where wreaths are placed on the graves of fallen service members across the country. Chief Master Sergeant Magda Hamlin and Michelle Pike participated in remembering veterans during the event at Fort Smith National Cemetery.
Well, first of all, to make sure that we're not, that our veterans aren't forgotten, and just to kind of pay our respects and our tributes to them serving our country for so many years.
Any of the freedoms that we have were afforded to us by those veterans who have gone before us, and this is a nice way for us to be able to honor them and let them know that their sacrifices aren't forgotten.
And that we're thinking of them as well.
Volunteers placed 16,000 wreaths at the Fort Smith National Cemetery. I'm Senior Airman Matthew Matlock.
Volunteers that went above and beyond were recently presented awards for their outstanding and exceptional service. Major Michael Atwell and his family are this year's Arkansas Air National Guard Family of the Year. He explains the importance of recognizing the hard-working individuals.
I think it's extremely important to recognize all volunteers, especially with the amount of stress that everyone has been under the last couple of years with all the transition. Everyone having to go off to long-term schools and long-term training and then follow-on training where they're going out of state for months at a time. A lot of stress on the members and a lot of stress on the spouses and family at home. So I think it's critical to help recognize them for all their contributions.
The awards recognize many volunteers, including the Youth Volunteer, Spouse of the Year, and Arkansas Air National Guard Family of the Year. Now, a word from Chaplain Smith.
Hello, this is Tom Smith, the Commanding Chaplain for the State of Arkansas National Guard and also full-time chaplain here at the 188th Wing. And our thought for the new year, 2017, is this. I remember the story told about a little boy that was in Sunday school at his local church, and they were talking about the story of Lot and his family fleeing from Sodom and Gomorrah. And God had said, don't look back. But his wife looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. This young kid in the Sunday school class that day was so amazed about this story, he told the teacher, he said, my mama was trying to finish putting her makeup on while she was driving. She looked in the rearview mirror and she turned into a telephone pole. That's kind of a funny story, but the whole point of the matter is this. You can't go forward in the new year if you keep looking back. Focus forward, move on. God bless you.
If you would like to be better at life, we may have just the thing. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People with Major Jim Garvey.
The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People were designed by Dr. Stephen Covey years ago as a tool to try to help people reflect upon their own lives in order to become more effective both in the workplace and in their personal lives as well. What are some of the things that are most important to them that they have trouble getting done from day to day? How can they become more of a visionary? And then also, importantly, it as it progresses along to trying to have more effective relationships, how to synergize with other people, and most importantly, ultimately, is how to take care of yourself, how to have that habit of daily renewal. I would say the most significant takeaway from this 3-day seminar and from what Dr. Covey has given us is that we can all become more effective. And those skills and the resources and tools are provided during this workshop for folks to take away and to utilize as they can. Yeah, we will have more classes scheduled for early and late February and later on, hopefully in March and April as well. So contact me and I'll be glad to get you scheduled for those classes.
Leaving the 188th does not mean leaving the National Guard family, and retired Lieutenant Colonel Bill Mason, a prior 188th member, explains how the old Guard started.
Back in the early 1980s, a bunch of technicians and Guard members decided we needed some kind of organization to carry out into retirement. And over time, it kind of died out, and a few years ago, one of the old Guard members started calling people and asking them to come to breakfast. And we started off with about 15 or 20 people, and we've grown to, I've got an email account of about 350.
During last month's Old Guard breakfast, Mason received the Diamond Award for his continued service with the Old Guard. Now we go to the Equal Opportunity Office with a message on the January 17th Martin Luther King Jr. Observance Day.
My name is Major Danielle Williams, Director of the Equal Opportunity Office here at the 188th Wing. In observance of the MLK holiday, the Day of Service, we want to present information to you regarding the national theme. Remember, celebrate, and act. A day on, not a day off. Some of you may know that the holiday is observed this year on January the 17th. So if you have an opportunity, please get active in your community to encourage social change and get involved and find something to commemorate this day of service.
The green dots you may have noticed across the base represent a positive impact rather than a red dot act of violence. It's focused on making your community a better place. Senior Airman Matthew Matlock shows us more.
Green Dot promotes the counterculture of violent acts against others, and the 188th recently held its first series of Green Dot courses. The training teaches airmen the importance of being proactive to defuse potentially hostile situations.
It's best to just go throughout your life, and whenever you see situations that pop up that you feel like you should interact but you're not sure, just go for it. Be aware of what's around you. Try to be proactive with making sure that violence can't run around freely, that there's people like us that are going to be out there to defend people.
For more information, see Tech Sergeant Tim Booth in Medical or search the Green Dot program online. I'm Senior Airman Matthew Matlock.
And now, it's time for this month's Spotlight.
Hi, I'm Jessica Jurgensen, and I am a bioenvironmental engineering apprentice. As a bioenvironmental engineer, we are preventative medicine, and we make sure that other jobs, that hazard doesn't get to people, so nothing bad happens. I like to read, and I like to hike, to go running or mountain climbing. Who I admire most, I would have to say, would be my stepmom, because she's just a really amazing woman and she's very independent and she's taught me to be who I am. So my goals here at the 188th would be to better myself and the place around me and meet great new people and just to be the best at my job that I can be. I am happy to be a proud member of the 188th Wing.
That wraps it up for this month's Flying Razorback Report. But before we go, we want to thank everyone who contributed to the DHS gift drive. We had 100 children this year, and you helped brighten their Christmas morning. We'll see you next time.